My experience has been, it's complex. So let me explain. So I lost my mom when I was about 6 years old of cancer. No, that's a story.
Condolences.
Yeah, that was way back in the early 90s. My dad was physically there in the house. Yes, he was, and I appreciate that because he could have left and gone back to England because he lived all his life in England, came back to take
Mm.
care of his mom, and met my mom on the airport, and then here comes me and my two other sisters. But my dad literally tortured us, right? And I'm not talking about physical torture in terms of physical harm, but in terms of neglect, in terms of starvation. Um, he used to kick us out of the house as young children to roam the streets. We had to leave home many times to stay by other people because it was just so toxic being living home with him. He was very strict, no nonsense person. And to me, I think he did not know how to be happy. You understand? I remember we used to watch TV, and me and my two sisters were there. Our mom died. I didn't even know my mom died, to be honest. I used to tell people my mom traveled because I didn't understand what death means. It didn't make sense to me. I didn't understand it. As a matter of fact, in her funeral, I was running around playing. So I didn't even get to see her. So imagine now, me and my two sisters, we're young, looking at television. Our dad will come, take the television off, literally plug it off the wall, remove it off the wall, take it, put it in his room. So we have to just sit there and just be quiet. No fun for us. He
Wow.
starved us. My dad had literal a food storage compartment in the house because he used to traffic goods from Trinidad and so forth. And he literally, we used to have to beg him for the key to get something to eat. And you would think, why would someone do that? It's not that he didn't have money. My dad was wealthy, but when you look at his background and when you look at his family, and it's only now I can get to appreciate as to what trauma he went through and what trauma he grew up his children, because I have brothers, dysfunctional brothers on his side of the family. One is mentally unstable. The other is on cocaine in England, two brothers in England. The next one, I have one in Canada. And all he cares about is money. He has no love, no compassion. He hates every and everything. All right. And I understand because that is generational trauma that was passed down. And it was just so unfortunate that we had to feel the blunt of that. Long story short, he died. My father died, and I think I wasted that opportunity to let him know that I forgive him because I was so angry at him that I felt that if I hold on to that anger even after he dies, I'm going to
Mm.
still be punishing him, not realizing that I was literally punishing myself. I think that's an important topic because there's a lot that I'm lacking when it comes to understanding what it means to be a man. And that's one of the reasons why I'm passionate because even though people might look at me and say, well, you're not dysfunctional, or wow, how come you could go through all of this and still be a functioning person in society? You're not tripped off, you're not on drugs or whatnot. And I said it took a lot to get to this point. It took a lot to get to this point. So I really appreciate y'all for sharing.
I wouldn't say it's a sad story. It just goes to show that everybody has a different walk. Um, that's why I'm never quick to judge anybody because everybody has a different walk. Everybody has a different bridge that they have to cross. Your bridge is not my bridge. My bridge might be going straight across, but then somebody else's bridge means that you have some pieces of wood missing and they have to fall along in the river and built a rope to catch back up and then walk over the bridge again. So everybody's bridge is different. So a story like that, I wouldn't say it is sad. It is sad. It does bring some brokenness to my heart just to sit down and to hear it. Uh, at the same time, it it helps me personally to appreciate the bridge that you had to cross in order to reach where you are today. So thanks for sharing.
Appreciate that, bro.
And
Yeah,
also,
man.
if I may,
Mm,
um, people who would be looking at you, um, they would understand and identify with some of the things that you went through. And there are some of those who believe that this is the end of the line. And because of my childhood and what I went through, then there's nothing good in this world for me.
mm,
And if they would look at you and say, okay, well, you made it thus far, here you are now, it means that there's hope for me.
mm,
And in sharing that story, it would be an inspiration and encouragement to people looking on, young men and women, even adults, because some people they've reached a dark point in their life and they believe that this is it. But if you can show as an example that this is what you went through, because some people have given me stories, but I can't discount their experiences, but I can tell
Mm.
you it's not as graphic as you just described.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
However,
yeah, bro.
however, it gives hope that if you went through that and made it, and while you might say it has shaped certain aspects of your character, you are still a beacon of hope for a lot of them. So I think that you should, embrace your past,
Mhm.
share it some more, and we would want, uh, you know,
Yeah,
our fans out there. I want to call them fans already, but
yeah, they were
our
fast,
listening
man.
viewing audience, you
Um,
know, to be inspired.
yeah,
Yeah.
look, and that's why I love this platform where as men we can sit and discuss these things because I think it's therapeutic. Sam, you mentioned that I trust me for years I felt that I wasn't worthy, but people didn't know
Yeah,
because they would never see it on my face. Um,
Mm.
and the trauma that I had to process, and I'm trust me, my story, trust me, if I start, it wouldn't finish because that is nothing. I went through even more than that than what I shared. This is just a little
yeah,
snippet, you know. But yeah, but I really appreciate and I think one of the things that helped me was I knew where I wanted to be. And now I have a better appreciation for my father because I am now looking on the good side of things now. My father taught me a lot that indirectly that I didn't know prior to when he was alive, you know? And it's only now I'm getting to realize, but I learned a lot from this man. He was an entrepreneur. He was hardworking. My dad was punctual. And there were times when he actually showed love. But then I
yeah,
didn't know how to recognize it because all I saw was the evil